George Floyd's death sparked a renewed passion for equity across the country. We've seen it in protest, in art, and in conversations from courtrooms to boardrooms to dining rooms. It's happening in Greensboro too. In fact, it has been for a while. Maria Hicks-Few is the Chief Equity and Inclusion Officer for the City of Greensboro. Thanks so much for Zooming with us today.
Well, thank you for having me, Rosemary. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
So what is the Office of Equity Inclusion, and how long has it been in Greensboro?
Well, the Office of Equity and Inclusion in its existence has been here since 2018. It was developed in 2018, but actually the City of Greensboro was very forward thinking in 2014 and created my role as the diversity officer, and I landed in human resources. Did quite a bit of work, doing some community job readiness fairs, which hopefully some of your viewers have participated in, and some other things. But then our city manager, our current city manager, David Parrish, had the foresight to say, well, things are changing, and I think we probably need to take this particular area and put it so it lies within the city manager's office. So that happened 2 years ago, and I am very blessed to have the support of another staff member, and we have an intern, and we've just been doing quite a few things in our community to make sure that not only the city, as far as employees, are treated equitably and know about equity and inclusion and fairness and those types of things in the programs we've created, but also partnering with the community as well too to make sure that that's out there. So we do a lot, Rosemary. A lot.
Let's kind of back up for just a second, because I think people are throwing around the word equity a lot right now. And for some, it's a new concept. Can you explain what it means to you?
Well, to me, fairness and equity, are kind of two terms in my brain that are synonymous. But the one that people really don't put a lot of emphasis on kind of making the distinction between is equality and equity, because, there is a difference. Some people today just want a fair shot. They want an opportunity to be heard, to have a seat at the table. Many of that is coming out, much of that is coming out in the world today with what we're seeing on TV and right here in Greensboro in North Carolina. But for some things, we still haven't quite reached equality. And, I could go on and on for days about this because I'm a political scientist and teach poli-sci. So this is one of the things I teach in class. But, I really think the difference is just creating those opportunities where persons of color, whether it is females versus males, whether it's our LGBTQ plus community versus our cisgender community, all of those things kind of go into this bucket. And I know we're concentrating a lot on race right now, which is very, very important, and we need to have those conversations. But part of what we talk about in the Office of Equity and Inclusion is that full gamut and that full bucket of what I just mentioned.
Can you talk about some of the programs and policies that the Office of Equity and Inclusion have been involved in shaping and creating?
Absolutely. I am so proud. We've done some great things. Hopefully everyone has seen, because we put some press releases out for the last 5 years, knock on wood, hopefully I can say 6 years in a couple of weeks. We've been number one for our LGBTQ plus community with reaching out, making sure that our city programs, but also some things in the community are actually where they should be as far as being progressive and being on the forefront. So we've been doing that. And like I said, number one, not just in North Carolina, but South Carolina. So that has been phenomenal, working on our policies for that. We've also, as I mentioned before, had the vision to go out, and some of our citizens have said, well, I don't know how to apply for a job at the City of Greensboro. I don't know what you all have to offer, especially those non-traditional jobs that I urge many of our residents to kind of participate in. It's okay for a female to be a trash truck operator or a solid waste operator, or go out in the field and do inspections. Non-traditional roles is what we've been teaching. So we went out into all the districts and we actually started doing those community resource fairs, and that helped us to actually reach out and reach back to get more people hired at the City of Greensboro, but also know exactly what we're doing. And also, we each year have a heritage calendar, which I'm very proud to say our city council ratifies. And it's been so awesome because each year we're adding more and more things to it and growing that heritage calendar. And I'm so thrilled to kind of be your sister on the GTN network, because what we did was created the One Greensboro show to make sure that we allowed our citizens and our employees the opportunity to know monthly what is going on. Like last month, for example, was LGBTQ plus Pride Month. In September, we actually have our Hispanic Heritage Month. So all of those things are coming up, and we're doing our best to get that out to the community. The biggest thing right now is the racial equity work that we're doing. And we're actually working with a group called GARE, the Government Alliance on Race and Equity, and we've been working with them for about a year. And we plan on working on a racial equity action plan that we will be engaging input from the community and actually launching hopefully within the next 6 months or so. So we're really, really excited about that.
Look forward to hearing more about that, and we'll have to talk more about that in the coming months for sure. Can you talk about what kind of shift in thinking or action even you have seen just in the past really few weeks this summer as kind of some engagement? There's been anger, there's been passion, there's been hope. What are you seeing?
I'm seeing a lot, Rosemary. And, as a longtime Greensboro resident, it pains me to see some of the hurt and emotion, to see fellow employees, males and females, crying when we have our internal Zoom calls, to be on community meetings where there seems like there's hopelessness and despair. But I can say from the City of Greensboro perspective, we're trying our best to put into place these programs and actually engage our community to find out how we can work together to create One Greensboro and to actually have community input to take us further in how we need to change things. We have a lot of work to do, but I just want our community to know we're not doing it in a vacuum. We just had a series where it's called Race GSO, where we actually requested testimonials from city residents, from citizens, from employees to kind of tell, how are you feeling? What's going on? What can we do to make things better here in Greensboro? So that's what we're going to continue to do, but I can say it's not going to happen overnight. I've seen some things that, in this day and time that we're living in, I really hope that things actually get better, and I know they will. I'm a total optimist, but we're going to have to put in the work in order together put in the work in order to change things and make things better. You are my brother and you are my sister, and that's kind of how we have to look at it.
So how can we get involved? What things can we be doing? Are there places to go, people to talk to? What can we do?
Absolutely. Simple things like watching your city council meeting. I always tell people to do that, first of all, because that's where you find out what's going on. But just participating in boards and commissions and special task force as they come up. Like I said, the Race GSO project was a great project, but I wish we would have gotten more community involvement than we did to actually come forward and do those testimonials. So when the time comes, just to step up and kind of say, hey, my voice counts. I matter. I have something to say. And if you ever need any direction, that's what my office is here for. The Office of Human Relations, the Office of Community Relations, all three of us, those offices are there to make sure that we connect our city government with you as the community and vice versa. So our website's the best place to go.
And that website, of course, greensboro-nc.gov, and you can just search equity and inclusion. It'll bring it right up, and you can find how to get in touch with Maria and the office and the staff and find out what's going on as well. Thank you so much. I know you and I get to see each other from time to time, really in person normally, and hopefully again soon. But let's make sure we make some of these our conversations available to the public as well, because I sure love talking to you.
Absolutely, and same here. And again, Rosemary, I just want to say to everyone, remember, we are one Greensboro. No matter what divides us, we're still one Greensboro.
We are. Thank you so much.
Thank you.